Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm John.
I'm Linda.
I'm Seth.
I'm Charles.
I'm Jenna.
And we're going to kick off tonight's show.
That's the
talking
best one of that we ever did. That worked out so great. I like it.
And we didn't practice.
We didn't even
trusted the
practice. So,
process.
golf clap for us. I'm just going to give it to you.
You were all here for it.
Yeah, well, it's only taken us a year on Zoom to get used to introducing ourselves. So that's not bad, I guess. So tonight we're going to kick off the show. Tonight we're going to kick off the show by talking about WandaVision, which we just all watched. Well, most of us, Charles is having trouble getting on Disney, but
First of all,
the rest of us have finished watching through episode 8 of WandaVision.
you did say good night.
So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen through episode 8, you'll probably want to tune out.
He just keeps talking, doesn't he?
He's doing the intro. He's introing. Let him intro.
Well, he forgot to mention it's an After Dark episode.
He's gonna
I'm not done yet.
He's not done.
So anyway, tonight we each have our special concoctions, which if they don't turn us into complete blithering drunks, may turn us into superheroes. We don't know.
Ooh.
I mean,
depending upon your concoction.
When you say concoction, it's just a glass full of whiskey.
Well, in your
that's your
case,
concoction. Mine might be something different.
Mine involved Erlenmeyer flasks and some beakers. And all sorts of experimentation.
Some questionable substances.
Yes.
Why don't make you feel like a superhero?
So Bill's invented his own hypnol-based alcoholic beverage. So have fun with that.
Just shut your beaker.
Thank you.
Shut your beaker.
All right. So, what do you guys think about White Vision?
I don't know what to think about White Vision.
I think it looks good on a black background.
What's that, Charles or Seth?
Zombie Vision seems to be better.
Zombie Vision?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like the internet's referring to it as White Vision, but it's like
so it's Vision basically brought back from the dead, but he seems to be like
Sword, the counteragency to S.H.I.E.L.D. has reconstructed the Vision's body from when Thanos destroyed him at the end of Infinity War. But one thing that pops into my head about that is that Vision's operating system is no longer in there, obviously. What's in there? It's like, and does everyone remember that during Age of Ultron, that Ultron loaded up a significant portion of his operating system into the Vision before they
put the Mind Stone in?
Yeah.
True,
So is this going to be maybe boot up and it's like all of a sudden we're going to be dealing with Ultron?
Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing. It's kind of like I may be completely off, but I'm not the best with technology, so forgive me. It's like you've loaded the windows, but you haven't put your theme in yet, because that's where you get to personalize it. So what they did in Age of Ultron is like they loaded up the basics of the operating system, but we haven't put the personality in. And Vision developed his own, or Jarvis, who would become Vision.
I thought the personality was Jarvis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is Jarvis.
Yeah. Well, yes, but Vision's been operating on Ultron's BIOS system.
No, I don't know how much. Like, I think that they're like we've only seen a few seconds of him online, so we don't know anything yet.
And here's the thing too, that without the minds, we still have no clue to what extent what Wanda is and because where the series could be taking it is a whole new folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Because what were we given insight into? There's some myth or folklore of the Scarlet Witch in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we know this universe has gods like Thor. And we've seen entities possess in the Marvel universe, like the Phoenix possessing Jean Grey. And so Wanda was exposed to the Mind Stone, which ultimately ends up in Vision. I feel like the Mind Stone keeps coming back to Wanda because either there is an entity in it or the stone itself is its own entity that wants to connect with her. Because think about it. Now that we know she was exposed to the Mind Stone, her powers come from it, and she ends up romantically involved with the stone once it's able to take human form. That's a really
I didn't think of that. I didn't think she is actually romantically involved with the stone.
Well,
if that's something that actually like makes Vision.
There was a whole movie about that, romancing the stone.
Oh my god, different.
Anywho, so anyway, we know the stones in the Marvel universe that they're in have been destroyed. Up until this point in the series, we had been told that Wanda can't create matter; she can only rearrange it.
Right.
But in episode 8, we learn that she can create matter. The question is, when Vision tried to leave the Hex, he started breaking down.
Yes.
But within the Hex, she created that matter. Did she recreate the Mind Stone?
Oh.
Well, here's the thing.
Could she, as she gets more familiar with her powers and her abilities?
Right.
And the thing is, too, this is where time and the multiverse is going to get really squirrely, however Marvel goes with it. The Mind Stone is only destroyed in the present. It exists in the past.
Right.
So is she pulling that in? Because they had to bring all of these stones forward to destroy Thanos.
So are you saying is the Hex a physical and temporal gateway that literally she might be channeling time as well as space?
Yeah. We really can't put anything past her because, like the witch said, what she has spontaneously done out of grief, the power of her grief, I think she is channeling the Mind Stone.
And channeling time.
The Mind Stone is part of her.
Well,
and channeling time because she goes back to the black and white 60s and then through the 70s, the 80s.
She has spontaneously created 2 new life forms from her womb.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well,
I mean, because there's all kinds of questions I have about that.
No, that's fair. They could be other entities that have taken advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Not in... okay, so this is kind of pulling a little bit from... They're still pulling a lot from the comics.
They are.
Because back... they did have a... this was back a while ago, but Wanda and Vision did at one point have kids. And there was a tragic story involved with this where Wanda lost her kids, or lost those twins, and her psyche basically began fracturing. And so, as a last resort, they completely wiped the knowledge of those twins from her brain. And then several decades later, our world time, not comic world time, that she remembers them and basically does something like is happening in the Hex, where her power just explodes and she changes all of reality. So this is all pulled from comics.
And no, it is. But also there's a lot of things they're trying to connect, and they have to make it work within the universe that they are creating. Like, mutants don't exist. Here's what I'm starting
They don't until now. I mean, could she literally pop them?
She made a mutant.
Oh, she actually, she pulled Quicksilver, who's a mutant.
Well,
No, the
Did
captain.
we-
Captain what's her face? Rambo.
Oh yeah.
She's
Mark
created
Rambo.
a mutant.
Did she
we
do
don't
that,
know
or
if
did the
she's a
Hex
mutant
do
or
that,
not.
or is that the same thing?
Well, she made the hex, so
We don't know if Monica Rambeau is a mutant because comics wise, like we don't know. I don't think she's a mutant in the comics universe.
But here's the thing. That's why I'm saying we don't know how they're going to take it with this the rules of this universe, because what did they explicitly said, and I'm surprised this didn't stand out to you. They told Rambo they didn't want her to go back into the hex because they said it's changing your cells.
Well, it
Right.
did. It did stay
You're
down. That would
mutating.
be
Well, I
one
didn't
thing
say
that
it
would
was,
make
like-
me not go back in.
Well, so this is really nerdy, but like mutants aren't just like there is a specific X gene and that is activated when you're a mutant. So if
In
they'd have
what?
said something about a special X gene, I would like buy that a whole lot more.
In what? Are you talking about
In the
in
comics.
Marvel canon?
Yeah, Marvel canon in the comics, in the X-Men movies.
Does the MCU have to use it?
I don't know if they do,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying it would point a whole lot more to Monica Rambeau being a mutant if they had said.
Well, they pulled this new Pietro, who is actually not her brother, but a mutant version in another universe. And it's like, is this a potential introduction of?
Yeah, that's what I thought, but then they kind of sidelined that, and
They kind of did.
I think, like, I don't know what's going on, but
that choice of actor just makes me just like, I'm sorry, I can't get over that.
Yeah, I can't get over it either, but it also might just be a red herring.
Yeah, it might be, and that would piss me off. That would chafe.
Because like this is what I have to wonder. We've got a couple of different scenarios where we know they're going to start bringing in the multiverse. They've brought up the fact that Wanda has changed genes, and in my mind, she's created a mutant, but we'll see how they take it with this universe.
Maybe 3 if you include her kids.
Maybe. And then you have this whole situation where the Mind Stone could have created mutants, but is Wanda even her parents' children? Because Wanda in the comic books, or the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they're the children of Magneto.
Right? Yes, they are. And,
So,
and in the Fox universe they are, but in this one, did she have the kids, or are they another apparition of Agatha Harkness?
I think those are her kids.
Yeah, I think they have established that those are her kids.
I think she's creating an abbreviated version of the life she wished she could have had. But
I mean, did. Sorry, Jenna, go
so
ahead.
it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this, because we're waiting. I think this is the theory is this is going to be the big reveal of merging the X-Men and mutants into this universe, one way or the other, through the multiverse.
That would be. So you think maybe the end we see at the very ending credits of episode 9, Deadpool pop in?
I mean, that would be the huge stinger, right?
That would be a hell of a big bomb. That would be a thing. That would be neat.
Are there characters that Marvel Universe has, or that HBO has now, that are, like
Disney?
Well, sorry, Disney.
The other
Whatever.
Disney.
That are, because they don't have Harry Potter, right? That's
Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So do they have characters that are like witches, warlocks, and stuff like that? That it would make sense that they're doing this
Doctor
whole witch
Strange
thing with her to bring those in.
It's Doctor
There's a
Strange.
ton of magic stuff in Marvel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They just haven't touched on any of it yet. But I think they're about to open that.
So do you
door.
think this may be a
They
way
did.
of not only bringing in the X-Men, but also bringing in the whole magical universe and tying all of that together?
Well,
I mean,
they already did that between Thor and Doctor Strange, because Thor discusses magic quite a bit.
Yeah, but he discussed it as a science more than a magic.
But
But then there's Odin who literally put a spell on Thor's hammer. Yeah.
Initially, he talked about it as a science in the first Thor, but then as we see Thor and other things, it's just a way of magic is a way of manipulating reality in terms that science is yet to define.
Yeah. So
And Doctor Strange kind of gets into that too.
Yes.
Yeah, I think with this they are like Doctor Strange really established it. But with this, they're gonna lean into the magic a bit more because apparently Wanda is a witch all along.
Yes, because Agatha says what would have died on the vine, the trauma and the Mind Stone grew into an exponentially higher power. But I feel like they did a really good job because you needed more than Doctor Strange to bring magic into this universe. By expanding Wanda's power to have been more than an experiment, it feels more natural now that it's happening, that magic could exist in this universe already. And what the stones did, or what Hydra capitalized on, was these anomalies and blew that up with Wanda and her brother.
Indeed. But it's like, if they introduce all this stuff, I mean, Wanda is actually supposed to, and it makes sense that they'd have more episodes because Wanda is supposed to lead into Doctor Strange's next movie, and she's supposed to be in it.
Rumored. We don't know anything.
It's a lot. It's a very strong rumor. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, very, very strong. But like, having seen the show, I don't know. Like, we don't know yet.
Well, it's like I'm surprised he hasn't made a cameo yet. Tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I am kind of surprised that we haven't seen Doctor Strange show up.
But he could be the one to fix it. And I think this is how we've started to establish up to this point that Sword is up to no good. Because if Sword was not doing something that they didn't think would upset the other Avengers, they could have reached out to Doctor Strange. Why has nobody called fucking Captain Marvel?
Well,
yeah.
No,
but also, Sword told everybody that Wanda stole Vision's body, and she didn't.
They also said that Vision wanted his body to be buried or whatever. And Wanda
he had a will.
Didn't follow his wishes.
Yeah.
Well, like to address your earlier point though, no one outside the Hex knows this is magical. Like they all just think this is Wanda's
superpower,
fucking undefined weird powers.
Right.
Like all they've said so far is that we know she could have one-man Thanos, which puts her on a power level that only Captain Marvel's on, which is another interesting thing. But yeah.
So is she the most powerful Marvel character?
No.
Captain America.
Oh no, yeah. If you want to get into the Omega level stuff, then no, she's nowhere near that. But she's
in the movies. We don't know like who.
Yeah, right now she's up there with with the people we've seen so far.
Yeah,
she slugs it out with the best of them. It's like, but another thing occurred to me. There's another magic user that would make a very interesting appearance. What about Dr. Doom? What if Doom popped in episode 9? You know?
They haven't established him as being magical in this universe yet, though.
They haven't established him in this universe.
They haven't established him at all in this universe. So,
like Doom is so interesting in his relationship to magic, though, because I would love to see that. I cannot wait to see the MCU version of Fantastic Four because I love Fantastic Four. And
I've been waiting so long for a good Fantastic Four. Like I'm just crying now.
Have they casted all the characters for that yet?
No, they're not even started on the movie. Writing it, but there is a fantastic, Fantastic Four story where up until then, Doom has mostly relied on science and let his magic kind of drift away. But there, in one big Fantastic Four story, he decides he's done with science because he's going to beat Reed Richards no matter what. And he's going all magic. He sells his soul to hell and makes a new set of armor out of the skin of his lost love.
Okay. Ooh.
Sounds like something Ogram would do.
Right?
Which
Ogram for our listeners is Seth's D&D character, a dwarf.
Ogram
barbarian.
Ogram is at nature a good person. He just likes fighting.
Ogram was sad that one woman who just befriended him died in the forge, and
but he's constantly invoking his ancestors to come help him battle.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
So I can see him wearing an armored suit of his former lover.
It's like I can't see Ogram lowering the basket saying it puts the lotion on its skin. Okay, I can't see. I can't see that.
Only that the magic is going to become more key, and it's going to be really interesting the range in which they take it. Like, has anyone seen the Morbius trailer?
No.
With Jared Leto as Morbius, and I think it's going to be I'm pretty certain it's going to be rated R.
But is it going to be in the MCU?
And I don't think so, which is tragic if it's the case, because it's Sony. I'm throwing it into the chat.
Yeah, because Sony still has all the Spider-Man characters, and they've still but they're doing some weird thing where they're not connected to Spider-Man. So
stupid.
Do you think Mephisto should make an appearance?
Some say that
sooner or later.
That one of the theories, although this last episode with Agnes may have cast that out, was that Quicksilver was actually Mephisto.
Oh.
That the Peter Evans version and his hair and stuff, but like people are also saying that it's like overlooking it.
That was
like
more of a reference to like the original Pietro from the comics, because they were all in their comics character outfits for that.
But the thing is, like, they're saying that Mephisto is also interested in Wanda and is contributing to this chaos, trying to get at her and gain control of her as well.
Which one's more powerful? Is Agatha more powerful, or is Mephisto more powerful?
Oh, Mephisto, hands down. I don't know. Like, I actually don't know too much about Agatha, but I think at this point in the series, it's too late to bring in another, and it's the Marvel Devil.
Unless there's a season 2, it would be a great cliffhanger, wouldn't it?
It would be a maddening cliffhanger.
And unless Agatha is secretly linked to Dormammu.
Ooh.
I mean, that would make a whole lot more sense.
Who's that?
Didn't Strange actually banish Dormammu?
Just made him
Earth?
stop what he was doing.
Who is Dormammu?
He was the evil planet apocalypse villain of Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And you saw him at the end of the Doctor Strange movie, and Doctor Strange did things with the Time Stone.
Yeah, he did the whole time loop thing until Dormammu was basically so annoyed with the whole bullshit that he was like, "Fine, God."
That is exactly what Seth just did. Is exactly what happened. It's like it took me straight back to the movie. Thank you, Seth. That acting was just incredible.
Doctor Strange made an elder god rage quit trying to destroy reality. Dormammu just like flipped the table and left. It's like, God.
Yeah. But it was brilliant because when you live forever and you're used to things progressing and then you eliminate that and you're stuck in a loop like that.
Yeah. So sometimes what you're saying is if you're fighting a god, you need a dick move.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
All right. I like it.
Doctor Strange played an infinite combo on Dormammu, and he never would have won, but he pissed Dormammu off so much that he quit instead.
Basically. Wait, have you seen Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
We've
seen it. We've seen it.
Oh yeah.
We've seen it.
Yeah. Oh no, I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen it.
I don't remember.
I just didn't remember Dormammu.
Which is why I'm just so surprised that with all this happening that he hasn't made an appearance yet. Since he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
You mean Sorcerer?
Yes, that.
He said
that whatever. You like that so much.
He's a sous chef. Supreme.
walls.
Sir.
It's like
Now I'm just thinking of
go fook
Kombat,
yourself.
just like making the best sauces.
Yes.
The Saucier Supreme. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God.
Back
The
to
Saucier Supreme.
For those that aren't on the inside joke here, in our D&D game, I play a Dragonborn sorcerer who John is constantly referring to as a sorcerer in the game, and we rib him incessantly about it. So
yeah, that's fair. I earn it. I do. I deserve it.
Back to Agatha, though.
Yeah.
Is she the villain?
I know. I don't feel that
I don't think she is.
She's apathetic. She's not necessarily she's
She
not
just points
necessarily
out what's going
empathic.
on.
Isn't she supposed to be the mentor for?
She is the mentor.
She starts off. She is, but at first she's a villain. At first she's
chaotic neutral. Like sometimes she's the villain, sometimes she's on the side of good.
I feel though that in WandaVision, Agatha is actually kind of like a trickster. She's trying to show Wanda what's really going on.
She doesn't want to show Wanda anything. She just wants to understand how Wanda's doing. Like obviously from that little bit of her past we get, she has a lot of power naturally too, and no one would teach her. And so she's like Seth said, she's chaotic neutral. She's going to what feels good and gives her more power. And so she just wants more power. There's nothing ethical about it.
I don't actually think so, because in that flashback we saw, like in the episode before, we got the fantastic little musical number. It was Agatha All Along.
That was nuts.
And that was just like, I think that was panning or like that was her like playing up being the bad guy, to get Agatha or to get Wanda to go along with her.
Unless that's what Wanda's interpreting it. Who says that musical came from Agatha and it's not Wanda?
I think Agatha's got enough control over things, over what's happening, that she because you see her like throughout the whole show, she is just hamming it up and playing to the camera.
True.
Her character obviously knows what's going on. And so I think that whole musical number was her like purposefully taking on the role of the villain so that she could then because in that flashback we saw, she's like, I can be good. And her mother refused to help her. But that doesn't mean
her mother said she couldn't be
evil.
good.
Yeah,
but her mother said you can't be good.
Her mother was also like way back in Puritan day. So
I mean that was like 400 years ago. So, but I feel like she doesn't hate Wanda. She just wants something, and it's like
I think she wants to make sure that whatever power Wanda has is controlled and not uncontrolled. Like I think she is going to be I think she's going to take on the role of educating Wanda, like she did in the comics.
Huh.
I think you're describing that she's going to be Mickey to Wanda's Stallone. It's like training that boxer.
But I think she has to take. I think she's taken the harsh path of trying to like snap Wanda out of her whatever delusion caused this.
That could be it.
And she has to, I think she's decided she has to play the role of the villain to do it. That is my read on Agatha.
Because here's what's kind of fucked up about all this. So, because I'm reading about Agatha as we talk. Obviously, it's a huge spoiler alert on all this. Wanda's children are fragments of Mephisto.
In canon or in the show?
In canon.
Oh wow, I did not know that. How does that work? Because I mean,
to quote a movie Bob, a YouTube show that I really love, comics are weird.
No, I understand the idea of the MacGuffin, and somehow Mephisto's MacGuffin ended up in Scarlet Witch's whatever, and it's like here we go. But
I mean, we're talking about sex stuff now, right? Which actually does bring me back to when Ultron made Vision's body, he gave him a dick.
I mean,
I would certainly hope so.
They didn't show that in the MCU. It's like
he can
and I'm
pass
kinda
through
happy.
walls. You don't think he could rework nanotechnology matter to?
Indeed.
I
It's
mean, like that's a whole
Yeah.
thing, though, right? Like, that must have been some interesting Googling going on from the Avengers mansion.
I mean,
How does that work?
here's the thing, though. If he was Googling for himself to rework those nanos to do whatever, did it come with a vibrate option?
I
I'm
mean,
sure
I
it
would
did.
think
Certainly
that
hope
Wanda
so.
was probably helping him with those searches, right?
Maybe it could be just clap on, clap off too.
Unless,
This is an After Dark
Right,
episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
or worse,
Do
or
whatever.
worse. Hey,
Welcome to the show. We talk about superheroes' penises.
he goes, or worse, he goes to fucking Stark and like,
Ghost to
go with
Stark.
Wanda. How do you best recommend that I pleasure my female companion?
And then-
Stark's like,
Stark would be the worst place to go.
And then
I
Stark
don't
gives
know
him an
that- yeah.
ovipositor.
Oh no! Ooh, not the ovipositor.
Well, yeah, wouldn't I mean Stark's all about like personal like pleasure. It's like would he just like say, I'll tap in for you, Vision, if you want.
No,
It's like-
Stark would be like, I actually already thought of this, and here it is, ready to go.
Right.
So,
Right.
All right, so
I've got
what you're
these
about to say,
self-installed
what
kits.
you're about to say, you thought of, and you've been thinking about it for a while.
So is Vision
Please-
tied
please
into the
continue.
internet
of
mentally?
course
Oh,
he
yeah.
can. If you want to, he can Wi-Fi that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vision's got Wi-Fi. Come on.
So he can just surf porn in his head.
Of course.
Should he so choose? Yes, it's like
Not in the 1950s, though. That would be rough.
Yeah.
That would be-
Well, there
it's
wouldn't
like-
have been any. There's
There
no
wouldn't have
internet in the
been- yeah.
50s.
Exactly.
it's like
That's why it's rough.
Which actually, quick question.
well,
which
no,
we may cut
nothing's
out
about
early.
to go off on something very, very profound that he said he's been thinking about for a while in terms of Vision's penis.
What?
So
No, he said
What?
Stark. He was
Like,
referring. He was
what?
speaking in the voice of Stark.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a app. and
Yeah,
it's
that
like-
was
An app
Stark.
for
I've
that.
got.
There's
I've,
an app
I
for
actually
that.
thought of that already. I've got something ready for you. Here it is in a box.
You're
in
right.
a
gonna sell
box.
the
Yeah.
box starts vibrating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So-
Is
mean-
this episode that we're doing right now? Is this going out this week?
Next
It'll
week.
go out
Next
next
week.
week.
Son of a bitch! Because I
So-
figured everybody would want to,
This
getting
would be a
excited
hell of
for the
a
final
hell of a
WandaVision
preview.
episode would want to hear it now.
So Stark Industries stopped developing weapons. They had to get into something, right?
Oh, the sex industry for
So
sure.
marital
Yeah.
aids? It's like,
Repul-
yeah.
Repulsor powered vibrating
There is
vibranium.
no industry more likely to always give you money. You've got war and you've got sex. There you go.
Absolutely.
Vibranium. It's like, you want a $3 billion dildo? Okay,
I
come to us.
mean-
We got it.
See, if there's anything surprising, it's that when in Age of Ultron we see that Stark has built an army of these robots, it's that he hasn't built an army of sex robots.
Right.
Well, we only see the ones that he lets us see. So
Yeah, I mean, at the time he's having an out, he's like out with Pepper. Did he? We're honestly supposed to believe that he didn't make a sex robot?
Well, did he not add something like that to his
Because
suit in case he needed
Penny
a needle
would've-
in the job?
Friggin' set that sex robot on fire in front of him.
So is Charles saying that Tony Stark installed a fleshlight inside of his suit for
I'm-
those
Well, you
times
I
when
mean,
We need to relax up a little.
some of those transatlantic flights can be
yeah,
long.
like some of those international flights are really long.
So yeah, it's like, all right,
He would have had plumbing stuff in that suit.
where'd Linda go?
I think she got tired of the conversation.
I don't know. She just disappeared.
Oh well,
I think she suffered the Thanos snap.
No.
Hopefully not.
Well, then our numbers are actually pretty good for that.
I did
Only
I
one of
did
us.
really appreciate that scene. I thought that was really well executed of the chaos that would ensue as the people who were snapped apart are coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like sad, but like also whew.
Yeah, that
Also, I'm
was-
starting to think her mom didn't actually fucking die from cancer again, that Hayward had her knocked off to take control.
Maybe there's some dark shit happening with him, and
Yeah.
Hayward, I think that's his name, is gonna be in for a rough time when Monica comes back and has superpowers.
Oh.
And she's like, I know what you fucking did.
And that's another reason why I can't imagine there won't be a season 2, because you just can't wrap up all this stuff with one more 45-minute episode.
Leading into movies, like that's season 2.
Yeah.
Like Monica's gonna go on and be in the next Captain Marvel. Whatever magic shit's going on is gonna go into Doctor Strange. Something's gonna connect to Love and Thunder probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can extend this for another season, since COVID has knocked back all the release dates for everything.
And we've got Spider-Man that just received a title.
Hey, she's
No
back.
Way
The
Home,
Thanos snap
I
covered
believe.
first.
Yay.
Welcome back, Linda.
Nobody Home is the new Spider-Man title.
No Way Home.
No Way
Or-
Home.
Nobody home.
confirm that.
It's just Spider-Man sitting there with a blank expression.
Well, the last time we saw a Spider-Man is J. Jonah Jameson outed him, so it's like that's going to be an interesting intro into that.
Well,
Isn't he going to
happened-
be in
what
this new Strange movie?
There was actually some fun stuff with the Spider-Man title this week, in which 3 of the actors each released a different title for the movie.
Oh, funny.
The 3 titles that they released were Home Slice, Home Wrecker, and Phone Home. As each one of them kind of being like, hey, I've got the title for the movie with a graphic that looks like it was produced in the studio.
That's funny.
And then the studio released the real title, which I'm not finding. Hold on. Well, continue talking because dead air.
Home something? Let me guess. Home Alone.
So
Well, each of the Spider-Man titles has been something on
Home.
Homecoming, Far From Home, and I can't.
Home Wrecker.
That is one of the titles that they.
Did Tom Holland release one of the names?
Yeah.
Well, then
It
that's
was,
the one, because he's incapable.
Because they plugged
No,
it.
they were
They
playing
gave
it
that
up,
to
though.
him to release to
Yeah.
Yeah.
control people.
Hmm.
They were playing it up on that. Like, obviously, Tom Holland does spoil a lot of shit, but I think this was a studio stunt, not a Tom Holland stunt. The studio then released an actual title for the movie.
Well, I heard that Doctor Strange is supposed to kind of morph into the role of mentor for Peter Parker.
Yeah,
So
kind of cool.
is he going to be in the new Doctor Strange movie?
I don't think so. I mean, the new Spider-Man movie is supposed to be multiverse oriented.
The whole Doctor Strange Spider-Man thing seems like a weird.
But couldn't you actually make a case that Peter Parker is a nexus with the Spider-Verse? That all of the aspects of Spider-Man that we see in the Spider-Verse and have heard of, is he not literally Peter Parker, his own nexus, his own multiverse?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's just the different multiverses tend to clump together in comic stories. Like there's a Venom verse, there's a Deadpool verse.
Nah.
There's all sorts of verses.
Huh.
All right.
So here's what I think actually.
No Way Home is the new
No Way
title.
Home.
Oh, No Way Home. Mm.
I think No Way Homey would have been better.
Parker is more likely
Why?
to call everyone.
No way, homie.
Why do you think that would be better?
Well, because everybody, I think you just have a bunch of people going up to Spider-Man and saying, "Hey,
Oh,
I
yeah,
need to
homie.
take this guy out for me," and he just comes in, "No way, homie." You know,
That is the
and it's
whitest
just the
thing
whole
you've
show is
ever
that.
said, Bill.
What's that?
That is the whitest thing you've ever said, Bill.
That is a lie. We both know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the whitest thing
That's
he said today.
I tried.
So what's in the booze that you're drinking, Bill? It's like
I'll never tell.
He's got some serious shit going on there.
yeah.
Party.
So have we gone through WandaVision, or is there anything else we want to hit on that?
Well, have we? I mean, it's like, what do you think? What do you want to see happen? It's like first of all, one thing I want to say is the Quicksilver that they have.
Mhm.
I want him to stay.
Right.
I like him.
Yes.
Peter Evans is great.
I don't know what you can do. I don't know how to do that. I don't really care if you make him the new Quicksilver. Doesn't have to be Wanda's brother, just the new Quicksilver. I don't, because I really like his character. I always did. And I think that his character in the MCU would be great. His character coupled up somehow on occasion with Deadpool would be simply
that would
awesome.
be hilarious.
Yeah.
What I want for a Deadpool combo is Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Yes. Oh my God.
I know,
Ryan
right?
Reynolds shaking down Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
Yeah, I want Deadpool to try. Like, I would love for Deadpool to try and be Tom Holland Spider-Man's new mentor.
Yes.
That would be hilarious.
Well, also being kind of a creeper on him too.
Oh, he'll be creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like he'll make jokes, and Tom Holland's like, "I need an adult."
Yeah.
It's like, so are you in college yet?
Yeah. So
Are you legal?
what do you do with your My Little Pony? You know, all these things. But it's like, doesn't Spider-Man and Deadpool traditionally canonically hate each other?
No, they have team.
No.
They're just incredibly annoyed with each other. Or Spider-Man
Deadpool wants to hit that. Spider-Man is Deadpool's like male love interest.
Oh wow!
Like Deadpool thinks so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Deadpool thinks so, and that's what would make it hilarious. Like he wants to mentor Peter Parker, but he's also like, I like how that spandex looks on that ass.
So as for what I want to see, like I am incredibly excited at the prospect of seeing the X-Men universe and mutants rolled into the MCU. I love the X-Men. I've always loved the X-Men. I don't know that that's what we're going to get out of WandaVision, but I want it to be so bad.
What do you want in terms of X-Men? It's like, I don't, because I mean, do you want the Fox X-Men? Because I don't know.
No, I think I'd like to see it. I think I'd like to see the MCU take on X-Men. Just like fresh. I don't think that we can actually get a pure like X-Men experience like we got in the 2000s, because like Magneto's origin story is that he was a kid in the concentration camps, but we're kind of out of that time period now.
Yeah, we got to retcon that a little bit.
A modern like genesis for like
unless you make Magneto a Vietnamese kid.
Well, I think
you could. I was actually just thinking that, but it's like, I mean, I'm cool with that, but you know that in fiction, science fiction, there's a very strong, sad puppy kind of fucking thing going on that they would lose their goddamn minds.
I think Marvel doesn't give a shit about that.
Good. I hope they don't. Because those guys can just go away.
I take that back. If they did not give a shit, then there wouldn't have been any risk to Brie Larson possibly getting nicked from being Captain Marvel.
Her movie made way too much money.
Huh?
Her movie made way too much money.
$1.1 billion. There's no way that Marvel's going to mess with that. It's like,
no, but it took some convincing with that still.
No, I don't think it did. I don't think they ever had any shot at it. They
It was
just
some
liked to
weird
make
drama
noise.
stuff that's I don't know.
What I think will happen though is, like, this is my own personal theory. I don't think this is supported anywhere yet. Is that mutants are going to start off fresh? Like, if WandaVision is the start of mutants, it's going to be something similar to what happened in the comics. In that, instead of like in the comics where she said no more mutants and then created a world basically without mutants, her powers will will explode and mutants will get a start from the Genesis, and we will see an Xavier and a Magneto who come into their powers as adults and start the school for gifted youngsters, and we will see
in phase 3.
Yeah.
Well, if Magneto comes into the MCU without the backstory, are they just going to make him evil rather than complex?
He won't come in without a backstory. He will have some sort of
sad backstory that
he'll have some sort of story that's similar to being a child in the like. He will have something that gives him a similar motivation.
Why are you so sad all the time, Magneto? Trump killed my puppy.
No, it'll be more like humans. He'll have a motivation that's similar to humans can never accept something that's different, and so that we are the next stage of evolution.
I mean,
we must
there's
replace
plenty of motivation. I mean, you've got the Taliban. You've got all...
If you want to make this character of color, which I'm cool with, but it's like...
You've got the Chinese with the Uyghurs. Like, there's plenty of groups you could pull from.
I agree. Again,
and I think they should.
I really do too.
Plenty of stuff in Eastern European to like pull Eric Lensher from.
They could have cut the Bosnian warfare. They could have pulled straight from that. Yeah, that would fit in. But it's like I kind of like where Jenna's going. Let's add some more diversity to the MCU while we're doing this. I mean, because really it's a blank slate. You can actually add things because you want to. So make it happen.
I'm not so much like, it's not just so much, I'm saying the angle of diversity. I'm saying that there are things that have happened in history, recent history.
Yeah, we don't have to keep pulling from World War II.
No.
And really, we can't if we want it set in modern day. Like, Magneto just can't be like some sort of 112-year-old guy going like...
In a couple of years, we'll be able to say that he's mad about being part of Sokovia. You know, it's like
that could actually be really good though. No, that's too soon. The motivation from like 3 villains so far.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a big deal. You know, I mean,
it is a big deal, but that's more angry at the Avengers
or he could be mad about like his family was crushed from the rubble from Loki's invasion of New York in the original Avengers movie. It's like. All kinds of,
because Magneto's motivation is far more humans are just will never trust the new.
Yeah,
more mundane motivation.
There has to be some evil systemic oppression happening for his motivation story.
His motivation is he believes mutants are the next form or stage in human evolution, and basically the humans will never accept this. Thus, mutants must eliminate the humans to survive as a species.
Aren't mutants really just superheroes with a genetic explanation?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of business, mutants existed in Marvel Comics as a way for Marvel to introduce new superhero characters without a complicated they touch the weird rock backstory.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Spider-Man.
They're a mutant, and that's why they have weird powers.
Because Spider-Man's a mutant. It's like
Spider-Man's not a mutant.
He was bitten by a spider.
The radioactive spider venom rewrote his DNA. He's a mutant.
He does not have an X gene, though. This is specifically important.
I understand what you're saying, but is the MCU going to have an X gene?
I think okay, so there's the MCU and then there's comics. This matters in comics because Spider-Man tried to get into Xavier's Institute, but couldn't because he wasn't a mutant. Meaning he may be a mutant with weird DNA, irradiated DNA, but he didn't have an X gene. Thus
That makes me think less of
bad,
Xavier in the
yeah.
Academy. I mean, if they're going to be that kind of elitist, it's like, it's like,
Because to me, that's a mutant. A spider bites you.
Spider-Man
DNA changes.
He's
That's a
dealing
mutant.
with the struggle. He's part of the mutant struggle. It's
I mean, especially since most mutants don't get their powers until puberty anyway, and he's not that much older than that.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not bullshit, but that's the thing. It's like he wasn't a mutant, so he couldn't be part of the school.
Makes me sad. Charles Xavier has let me down. I'm sad.
So Spider-Man really has an excuse to go evil.
Xavier is in the comics. He's done a ton of bullshit.
I know.
Just so much bullshit.
Yeah. Yes, he has.
At one point, Xavier sent one of his teams back in time to die to save the future, and just like never told him. And then one survived, and he erased their memory. He has done so much bad shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No. He has. It's like all under the justification that
The greater good.
Yeah, he's straight up the greater good guy.
Yeah,
Magneto's like the greater good guy too. Like they're both like morally fucked.
Well, yeah, but they're both the greater good guy from different points of view. It's just Magneto's way of exercising greater good are much easier.
Yeah, they're both fanatics for different causes and willing to sacrifice just about anyone to achieve their goals.
Yeah. So, and that is that what you're hoping for? Is that what you want the X-Men to be when they come into the MCU? Is just for them to capture that kind of fanaticism from both Magneto and Xavier?
I don't know. Like what I at this point, the MCU and Kevin Feige have pretty much earned my trust. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
So whatever direction they want to take it in, I'm definitely willing to give them a chance.
But neither one of them would have considered Spider-Man a mutant then.
No.
Yeah. And I think
So he just
Magneto tried to kill Spider-Man before, like he's not a mutant.
Yeah, because he's a person.
Like Magneto's racist against Spider-Man. So
is he? He is. I mean, of all the things,
because he's not natural.
Well, yeah, but
he's not a mutant like them.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's not. Does Spider-Man try to ever stop Magneto from doing stuff? I mean, because
yeah,
I've never seen that. I've never seen the X-Men and the Spider-Man.
Like that's the thing about all the comics universes is everyone is always crossing over with everyone else's villains.
Huh.
Cross-pollinating, if you will.
If you will. Yeah, which kind of takes us back to superhero penises, but yeah.
It's a little bit too long for an episode.
It's a little bit too long.
Okay,
is it?
so before, if it is getting too long, then what is some like nerd movies everyone's looking up to? I don't care. I know it's cheesy. It's probably going to be horribly disappointing, but Mortal Kombat.
Oh no, Mortal Kombat! I'm excited for that. Come on.
All right.
Is that a cartoon?
No.
Well,
it's live action. There's a trailer available.
So much blood.
So much blood.
So much blood.
So much blood. Jenna, we won't be able to go to this in the theater either and just be like laughing as somebody goes through a helicopter blade.
Are you going to come over? Are you going to come over, Seth?
Sure. You've got that home theater. Yes.
Or are we going to watch it at Bill and Linda's? It's getting to be like warmer weather. Have you seen that magnificent veranda?
Have you seen how Linda reacts to blood, though? I mean, it's like,
this might not be the movie for Linda.
We'll get her drunkies. It'll be fine.
Right.
We'll get her drunkies.
What do you think about the Avatar expanded universe?
Before we get to that, what I really want out of the Mortal Kombat movie is that classic Mortal Kombat theme from the original Mortal Kombat movie. Dun, 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 dun,
that's metal. I want it to be hard metal.
Mortal Kombat!
Done by Metallica.
What about Godzilla versus King Kong?
Well, John brought up the Avatar world.
Yeah,
I want that.
Well,
Yeah.
they've doubled down. They're making a movie. They're making like Nickelodeon's going crazy on Avatar. They're throwing all in on Avatar.
And they like not have the original creators still in on it. So as long as those guys are in and directing things
and have control.
Right.
Full
I'm
control.
in.
So they have their own Feige for this particular endeavor.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you've seen the Avatar series, right?
I have seen some of the Avatar series, and I saw the movie.
Oh no.
No, the movie does not exist.
What?
No, the movie exists, and it is a crime that I will someday rise to power and persecute MJ Shyamalan for, or like whatever his name.
Did you just dismiss him? Just like
he is a criminal, and I will see him in jail for that movie.
Avatar? I didn't think it was that bad.
No.
haven't
This
seen
is
the
not. This
cartoon.
is not Avatar. Like they go to space
James
and all this. This is
Cameron's
Avatar, the
Avatar.
cartoon.
This is the Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't watch cartoons.
That's fine.
Glaring at so much. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a little bit more cartoony than like you definitely wouldn't like this. But since you haven't seen it, it's a fantastic. It is almost a defining like American anime style series. 3 seasons, limited story in the original Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was fantastic. In terms of art, in terms of storytelling.
Folklore, the mythology, the universe.
I don't know how you guys cannot like cartoons. It's like it's like you're nerds. I know you're nerds. You're dress up nerds, but it's like to not like cartoons and be a nerd is to like pizza but not like cheese. It's like is there a way to eat pizza without cheese? Of course there is. It's like, but it's
we like some cartoons, like we like
I
Johnny
like
Quest.
funny cartoons, like
We
Rick and
like-
Morty.
We like Rick and Morty.
Have you guys watched the Venture Brothers yet?
You might
Not
like
a
that.
cartoon.
If you like Rick and Morty, it's a little weird like that. It is.
Please fucking watch the Venture
Okay,
Brothers.
The Venture Brothers. All right.
I kind of want to explain this to Bill and Linda just so that they can get what I'm doing. So, The Last Airbender was this fantastic animated series. Nickelodeon did it. It was kind of a risk for them. It was out of left field, kind of, because they had stuff like SpongeBob on before. And then they do this kind of martial arts kind of magic show that started off really goofy. It was kind of goofy all the way through, but had a show that was then about morals and character growth and inclusion in terms of there were no like Caucasian people in this world, basically, and it was weird and it was great and highly successful. And then they there's going to be this live action movie that everyone's so excited for because it's Avatar: The Last Airbender coming to the big screen. And
Full of white people, and only the villains have any color to them.
Yeah, so
What?
M. Night Shyamalan is the director. And
Who is not white, but seemed to miss that point.
Well, that's weird.
says he's doing it because his kids love the movie. And like Jenna says, every one of the heroes except for Aang, the main character, the specific avatar, is white when they should be
That's not right.
Pulled from like
that's
Inuit
whitewashing.
actors.
That's why it's so bad.
Yeah, in this show there were many different cultures. There was the Earth Kingdom, which was basically sourced from Chinese culture. The Water Tribe, which was largely
Eskimos.
Inuit culture.
Inuit, yeah.
And Fire Nation, which was I think also kind of Chinese and more Japanese. So there were 4 nations, and none of them were Western type cultures, which was really original. And then the movie comes out, and it's extremely whitewashed, except for the villains, who were then mostly Indian, like not Native American, and the movie was just so bad. It makes me mad today.
That's terrible.
I mean, whitewashing aside, it was actually a bad movie.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Compared to the cartoon, it's if you've never seen the cartoon, the original series, it's enough.
So
Like, it's entertaining, but if you have, then it hurts. It physically hurts.
Wow.
well, so in the cartoon, in the actual series, you have these characters who are capable of incredible feats of power, like a single earthbender, which is like the martial art that allows you to manipulate the power of the earth and like throw boulders and create these huge spires of rock to crush your enemies.
Mhm.
In the movie, you had like 12 guys doing a martial arts kata to throw one tiny little rock.
Oh,
Huh.
God.
And it's just like so disappointing.
So one would
So
assume
bad.
it didn't do well. That one would assume.
No, it did
No.
badly.
It was a loss.
He didn't
believe
have
it was a net loss.
Shyamalan didn't have the vision. It's kind of like, I look at it like the sequel trilogy of Star Wars were written and directed by people who did not have the Star Wars vision, and Shyamalan didn't have the Avatar vision. He didn't see it. He didn't feel it.
It's something that should look amazing live action.
Yeah.
But he made it look lame. Like he
did.
made these awesome powers, like waterbend. Like in the show, you imagine like how waterbending would look in real life. These awesome like creations made out of water used to like fight martial arts style, and he made that look dumb.
Yeah, he did.
Huh.
He
Oh.
made
He did.
firebending, this ability to like control fire, like gouts of flame from your fist, or like, and he made that look dumb. And it's just so, the movie's bad
That's
partially
terrible.
because it's so disappointing. It had so much potential, and it was just.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's awful.
All right.
It's like you get this great big beautiful storyline to do some really cool things, but then you're not given the resources to do it.
Yeah.
And
But he had all
also-
the resources to do it.
He did. He had everything he needed to make it good.
And he didn't.
But
Yeah.
he failed on so many levels. So many levels. Like the series is called Avatar, The Last Airbender. You have 3 seasons of people saying names and doing things. Like I just say Avatar, yet every single character in the movie pronounces it Avatar.
Oh my God.
The main character's name is Aang. Throughout the whole movie, it's Ong.
I thought for just a second your head was going to explode, Seth. You're just like,
That one
You
thing,
pianized it.
that one thing makes me so mad.
Oh.
We need to have a night on the veranda watching that movie with Seth and some
Oh my
alcohol.
God, he'll blow up.
I will commit acts of violence. I will kidnap M. Night Shyamalan and bring him.
All right.
Oh.
So any other
Yeah. So
movies that
nobody's
people are
looking forward to
or shows?
Godzilla.
Oh, I am. That's going to be fun.
Zura.
That'll be fun. And then
I'm
this week,
isn't Kong supposed to be tiny? I mean, compared to Godzilla, it's like,
Compared to Godzilla, he's supposed to be tiny, but I'm guessing they'll be similar sized in the movie.
Yeah, no, like someone showed a picture like Kong could fit in a baby carrier on
I know, I
he
love that
should.
picture.
And he should. That's exactly right. Kong should
Right.
be big, but like not that big.
right.
Not 900 feet tall big.
No.
That's going to be a fun movie.
Yeah. And then this week, Peacock Network has a new sci-fi series called Debris.
That looked interesting
Yeah.
for
Looked
sure.
really interesting.
Too bad nobody's going to watch it because
Or
no
as
one's
M.
watching
Night
Peacock.
Shyamalan would undoubtedly pronounce it, Debris.
Big Briss.
So
But for anybody that hasn't seen the trailer on that yet, that looks pretty good. It kind of gives me an X-Files vibe.
I'll be sure to watch it when they farm it out to Netflix.
Because there's a male and a female lead, I
Like
think one of
only-
them, at least one of them, I think, is an FBI agent. I don't know that the other one is, but they're investigating this debris that's falling to Earth that is of extraterrestrial origin and that has different.
Isn't all debris that
properties.
falls to Earth extraterrestrial in origin?
Yes, he's
No,
right.
nope. The space shuttle fell back to Earth.
Oh, that's fair.
That boo.
No, it's true. Not all debris that comes back is extraterrestrial in origin. So it's extraterrestrial and it's got different properties. You see, like somebody finds a piece of it in a hallway, and I'm not sure how this happens, but they find a piece of it in like the hallway of a hotel. Up on like the 10th floor.
Those hotel meteors can be very intense.
Yeah, the room service lady finds it on the hallway floor and she bends down to pick it up. And then all of a sudden, she and her room service cart just fall through the floors of the hotel as if they're non-existent until she hits the ground floor, at which point the floors become solid again and she's dead. So I don't know.
I mean,
there's
why,
a lot
though?
of what's that?
Yeah.
No.
Why though?
Exactly. Why?
We don't know why.
Like, what's the difference between the floor 10 of the, like, how does it know when?
Right. We don't know.
All right. So this, you really want to know the actual properties of this MacGuffin compared to other MacGuffins?
Oh yeah,
It's like,
I always want to know the properties of a MacGuffin.
Right.
yeah.
And then you see other scenes where people appear to be dead, but they're just like floating prone about 2 feet off the ground. And you can just give them a little nudge and they'll just go
and you
float
nudge
out
them
of
and
the
they
way.
move.
Yeah.
So, but they're dead.
Well, they're
We don't
frozen
know.
like they're dead. We don't know if they're dead. They could just be
Plain possum.
in suspended animation, I suppose. We just don't know
And
enough
so-
properties about the debris that's falling yet.
I mean, why would every piece of debris have a different effect?
Yeah.
Like, is there
Like-
just like a group of aliens up there going, okay, send down the one that'll make them fall through
Yeah.
the buildings. That's a great one.
What are they going to do with that? That'll
Well,
be
they
fun.
think that the debris is being intelligently sent to Earth
Intelligent.
for some purpose.
It's like
And
their own.
that's what they're trying to
ridiculousness
figure
show.
out.
To fuck with humanity.
Yeah,
Like, I'd watch
probably.
that show, just like aliens
That'd
just
be
like
hilarious. It's
finding
like
Earth and being like, yeah.
let Rob Deerdick host it. It'd be
Send them the
great.
one that melts fingernails.
The one that grows hair
yeah.
all over their bodies.
Oh.
That would be weird.
So
Yes.
even though this isn't new, did any of you watch The Stand? Like I don't
No.
have CBS All Access, whatever came out. I need it because I
Right.
need The Stand in my life as a Stephen King junkie.
Hey, well, Jenna, and all the people in the audience that are listening, CBS All Access is going away.
Yeah, I gotta cancel that.
What's today?
Paramount Plus.
When did
It's on the
Paramount
4th.
Network.
Today's this.
So
and-
tomorrow's
and-
March 1st,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, tomorrow's in 3
So
hours. it'll be the
March
first.
1st, CBS All Access is gone. It's now Paramount Plus. And if you subscribe to Paramount Plus, you get the first year at half price.
Woo!
But I don't need another streaming service.
But it's only $5 a month if you do it now. But you
So
only
should
have
I-
it. Don't wait
so-
till March 3rd because the deal's gone.
Should I
can't even
should I
watch-
cancel my
don't even
CBS
wa- I
All
haven't
Access
watched
account?
Hulu
Yes,
in
I
4
did.
months.
All right.
I canceled
All right.
my CBS All Access
Here-
account,
here's the
and
thing,
I'm going to
John. I
resubscribe under a new identity so I can get the $5 deal.
never watch any Stephen King works in a movie because they never come across right. I've never seen anything that Stephen King wrote that translated well into something that they made visual.
Even the
No,
last
you're
It
not
movie.
wrong, but
What
they
about the
come
It
close
movie?
to know it's
Yeah, I
been
thought
good.
it was great. The last
Yeah.
What did you think was great, Bill?
one. The last
It.
one.
What did
The
you think was
last
great?
bit.
It.
It what?
Yeah,
I
it was
too.
a great movie.
Seth, you're drunk. Stop.
I figured out what he was doing.
Come on, you know you liked it.
Jenna
Sad.
just says stop. Stop. Just stop.
In the immortal words of our former president, sad.
Aww.
Yeah.
Don't you compare Trump to me.
Well, it could be. I'm sure at some point every ex-president said sad, so it doesn't have to be Trump, but it's like it sure
Well,
could be.
It's
I
sad.
mean, not every president did. Sad exclamation point.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You know,
They
love
didn't
for
say it in a way that made you want to kick them in the face.
Right.
Face?
sad.
Sad.
Speaking of that,
Wrong.
what did you guys think of the Golden Idol?
Speaking of
Oh my
kicking in the
God.
face or Trump?
No, we're not going to do politics.
Yeah,
No,
we
we're
should.
not.
Damn it.
We
What other
probably
movies
shouldn't.
or
All right, what
things
other
that
movies?
Golden Idol.
you want to see?
What
You
is
mean
the
that Golden Idol that was made in China? Yeah,
Look
Yeah.
it up.
that was a nice one.
I'm
Look
not
it up.
familiar with this.
It's actually Mexico.
Yeah, it was
You're
made in
not,
Mexico.
Seth?
Was it Mexico?
No, I've
Yeah.
never heard of this one.
At the
Oh.
CPAC conference, there is a golden idol that
yeah.
somebody
It was
made.
like a
I am
life
familiar
size-
with that one.
El Hencho in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
You mean
Okay, so
HO?
anyway,
Did I
don't
say it
know
wrong?
what other movies
Yeah.
are
Sorry.
coming.
Well, there's an interesting. I just bumped
My
into an
bad.
interesting movie or interesting series last night.
Oh, what is it?
Well, and the thing is it comes across as which is my favorite thing when people do this is it comes across as what I would call a woman's movie.
Uh-oh.
No, at first. And then it shifts into a little bit more of a supernatural.
What do you define as a woman's movie?
Right,
movie.
exactly, John.
Oh,
Thank
well,
I wanna-
it'll be. I'll try not to do too much of a spoiler, but if you're into like astral projection and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
all right.
How's
What
that
makes
a
that a
woman's
So
woman's
movie?
it's
movie?
oh, now I got to remember it. Ha ha ha! Behind Her Eyes. What's Behind Her Eyes? On
Ooh.
Netflix.
to
make sure
check
I
it
I know
out.
what's behind her eyes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you said behind her thighs.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
It, yeah, Behind Her Eyes. So, but it'll be the first part of it as it's a love triangle happening.
Huh.
And then it shifts. There's some and I had actually read the book years ago, and it did the same damn thing. I don't know why I was reading it, but I think I was stuck with it for some reason.
Yeah. I remember seeing this trailer now too. Yeah, that looks
But-
kind of.
But they're not going to point out that it's supernaturally. They're not going to point that out in the trailer because they're just not. I don't.
They want to see if it's a mind, like make you question: is it just a mind fuck? Is it all in her head? Is it real?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I once I realized what happened, I was I almost didn't make it. I was watching. And I'm like, this is too much of too predictable.
Yeah.
What about,
and they went bam.
what about Chaos Walking comes out on March 5th?
Not
Chaos.
familiar with that either.
So that one stars Daisy
Oh yeah,
Ridley
Tom
and
Holland and what's her name? But-
Yeah, it's set on a planet where all men have their thoughts displayed above them, a
Oh.
phenomenon called the noise, and women have
Oops.
largely
Yeah.
vanished.
That one looks really good. I
Yeah.
want to see that.
That's fun.
I think that'll be good.
And then, The Quiet Place 2 is coming out in April. Or A
That's a
Quiet Place.
vampire movie.
No, it's the one with
That's where if you make
Emily
noise,
Blunt
the aliens get you.
and John Krasnick.
Oh,
Yeah.
John
That's why
Krasinski.
everyone has to keep quiet.
The story looks to pick up in the wake of the first film's fight for survival as
All right.
Blunt's Evelyn Abbott and her family crosses paths with a new group of survivors played by Cecilian Murphy and Digimon Hansu.
Oh,
So I actually haven't seen this movie. Do they have a reason why people don't just play metal music everywhere all the time?
That's what
Well,
I've
you
seen.
never get the true origin. We're not even 100% sure they're extraterrestrial or like friggin' cave dwellers from the center of the universe or
Well,
mutation.
Still, if they're sound based, you would also think that loud sounds hurt them.
And did you see
Yeah.
the movie?
I just said I hadn't seen the movie.
Then you
No,
need to see the movie because that's what they figured out. God.
That's what they figure out is just to
Yes.
like use loud sounds. The very first thing I thought about.
Okay, you don't need
Okay,
it now.
Aaron.
You've seen it. We're
Right.
done.
So I
Yeah.
figure we're So, I mean,
does it hurt being so brilliant, Seth? Does it hurt?
It does
Is
sometimes.
Pain?
It's just like I would survive,
pain
and
in
everyone
your,
else
in your
would
very
die.
colon from being so right all the time.
This is what I keep saying.
So speaking of me being right, Jack
What were you saying,
Snyder's the Snyder cut is gonna fucking suck, right?
Segued into that. Real smooth there, Seth. Yeah.
I mean, it was there, and we were talking about things that were coming up.
What were you saying, Jenna?
I forgot.
You said you need like three things.
I derailed you, Jenna. I'm sorry.
Fine.
Okay, well, we've got Black Widow coming up in May 7th.
Oh, you're just skipping it, huh?
Yeah, you're not going to touch the
skip it.
Snyder cut, are you, Bill?
Don't
Coward.
tease me
You
because I want my
coward.
Scarlet.
Because you what?
I want my Scarlet.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
I mean, I'm always up
you're
for
gonna get
Marvel.
that, and that's about all you're gonna get for quite some time. It's like because
Now,
that's all that's coming. That's all
have you
that's
guys-
really in the shoot.
Have you guys heard about Free Guy?
Yes.
Oh yeah! Yeah.
When does that come out? When does that come
That
out?
comes out. It just says early 2020. For anybody that hasn't heard of it,
It's
Oh,
early 21
Ryan
right
Reynolds.
now.
Wait. You said it's coming out early 2020?
It's 2021.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was originally scheduled for release in early 2020. They're saying now May 21st of 2021.
I am there. I am there.
It
I can't
stars
wait.
Ryan Reynolds as a video game character who becomes self-aware
He's an
and
NPC,
breaks out of
yeah.
his role to become the surprise hero of a Grand Theft Auto-esque video game world.
I can't
It
wait
looks
to
good.
see it.
That
Yeah.
does
But I
look
love
fun.
anything Ryan Reynolds is in.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Good point.
He is good for this kind of role.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm so glad he found his place in acting. It took so long. It's like it
Yeah,
did.
he's been in some dogs.
Yeah, he has. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, find an actor who hasn't been in.
Been in
well,
dogs.
but
yes,
he's so
absolutely.
good. It's like his breakout role should have come much sooner, I think. But yeah,
I agree.
to get him up to A-list because like he's
We've also got news like Deadpool 3 is definitely happening now.
Yep.
And like Marvel's on board with that being R-rated. So,
R-rated.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
and he's coming to the MCU.
yeah.
What do you guys
Again,
think of?
See,
The
that is
creeper
what I'm
mentor
looking
to
forward
Spider-Man.
to.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Just I do want to see that interaction with
And actually, they're
Holland.
saying he's the one who could be the source in the MCU of the because he got the time machine and he starts fucking up with the timeline.
Yes.
And he creates all the fuckery that brings the mutants in.
Oh.
You know what Ryan Reynolds has been fighting for, and I think he lost this one, but he wanted to reenact a Deadpool storyline where he killed the entire MCU.
Oh,
where he killed the
really?
entire Marvel universe.
Deadpool
And
kills the Marvel universe.
I know, but since they actually just destroyed a Marvel universe, the whole Fox Marvel, he could kill all of them in like the intro to the next movie. It's like, I think that would be epic. I do. I think that would be great.
What about the new Ghostbusters film?
Oh my God, there's a
I've been waiting and
Yeah.
waiting for it.
It's due out June 11th.
I'm
Oh, wow.
excited.
And it's
like
got Finn Wolfhard, who you might recognize from Stranger Things.
Finn Wolfhard.
Oh,
sounds
that's right.
That sounds nasty.
It's like anymore, I am just like until
Sounds like a
it
D&D
actually
character
comes out, I
John
have
would
no
create.
hope.
Bill, stop
Sorry,
interrupting.
what'd you say, Jenna? I talked over
Anymore,
you.
I'm like until I see it actually come out, I have no hope for movies.
Indeed.
Good point.
Yeah, Jenna's right.
Indeed.
We are,
Right.
we are living in the time period of Schrodinger's movie.
Yeah. They both do and don't exist until you see them. You can't determine whether they are or not. So
Yeah, they're either in theaters and on streaming or they don't exist.
Yeah.
You don't know until you watch them.
Seth,
did you want to express some more vitriol for the Snyder cut?
actually,
no,
actually,
don't.
I want to.
No, you do not give him that.
I want to ask Seth. I want to ask.
Let me
I'm
get
gonna
started
blow
on
this shit
Man
out.
of Steel
No.
that I just watched.
No.
I want to ask
God.
Seth if he thinks that Finn Wolfhard would be the name of a aquatic wolf character that John would come up with for a D&D
Aquatic?
character.
No, I think Finn Wolfhard is the name of an action star in the 1980s.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, he-
That
the opposite Arnold
or,
Schwarzenegger.
that or a modern porn star actor.
Yeah, wasn't
Right.
Finn Wolfhard the guy that was on top of the Nagatomi Tower in Die Hard? Yeah.
Yes.
Are we gonna wrap this thing up then?
Absolutely
could.
not. On to Men of Steel and my many problems with it.
No.
First,
Oh boy.
Ding, 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 ding. Somebody
I'm
cut
gonna
his
go meet
mic
up
quick.
there, and then if that's what we're doing.
He made good points, but it's like, I told you, Snyder makes 3 to 4 hour movies.
and
And
I
until
maintain-
you see the 3 to 4 hour version of Man of Steel, you don't know what he's going for.
No, this is just an extension of your you haven't seen it, you don't know argument. He has bad
Linda,
writing
shut
in Man
this
of
shit
Steel.
down.
Another hour wouldn't have improved it.
Shut this shit down.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll pick up this discussion in the next episode, where we'll
title it "John is Wrong."
we're
Volume 2.
gonna put John and Seth
When
in
was
a
volume
fighting
1?
ring with boxing gloves and have them duke it out.
When was volume 1?
Okay,
This is
then.
volume
All right.
2.
Wave
Thank-
goodbye, everybody.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. We'll see you all again in another 2 weeks. Have fun. Enjoy the end of WandaVision, and we'll see if any of our predictions for the future come true there. So take care, everybody. Good night.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.